Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Bernie here along with Pete.
Yo!
And today, guys, we of course are going to be talking about the NBA rookies this season. You know, a lot of rookies have made a lot of impact, especially ones that we talk about often on this channel, Luka Doncic and Trae Young, for good reasons, for bad reasons. But here on this episode, we're going to be talking more about all the rookies and what rookies we find under the radar, some statements we made about the rookies. Are we going to retract some of them? But let's first start off with our underrated rookies, because I know Peter has someone that he wants to talk about very highly. And Peter, why don't you nominate or tell us who the most underrated rookie is in your opinion?
It's total homer pick, but it's Mitchell Robinson.
Mitchell Robinson?
It is 100% based on where the Knicks picked him, right? So I think he was the 36th overall pick in the second round. The guy is incredible. We were just talking before we started recording that right now he's averaging 5.5 blocks per 36, which is the highest in around 30 years. Not only that, but he doesn't play a lot of minutes per game. I think he
almost 19 minutes, 20 minutes, like
20 minutes a game, right? Which is significantly higher than it was in the beginning of the season because he was fouling out quicker than he was playing. Like he was fouling out so ridiculously fast. But the guy is just a defensive monster, right? And it's funny that we went from Enes Kanter to him because they're complete opposites of players. Like, one of them is incredibly athletic and the other one is just a really big dude, right? Who blocks up space. And then one is a revolving door on defense and the other is just the ultimate stopper, it seems. And then the offensive games are just opposite too, right? Mitchell Robinson, that's his weakest part. It's how unpolished he is offensively. But he's already made such progress offensively that he's easily the best prospect the Knicks have right now.
Yeah, when we look at a guy like Mitchell Robinson, you could really see that when he came, because he obviously didn't play college.
Yeah.
And so he just came straight from high school. So you could really see that he was really raw at the beginning. Like, even Summer League, he was raw, but you could see that there was potential there, especially on the defensive side. He kind of reminds me of a guy like Montrezl Harrell, just like an energy guy that'll just come in and give this a massive amount of energy to really hype up the team and get everybody involved. And then at some point, maybe in his career, he could be a better scorer than Montrezl Harrell, but he just kind of gives me off that vibe. And his defense, his blocks are like the craziest thing about him. He's
so ridiculous.
Like, I don't think, other than maybe like Rudy Gobert since then, that's the only time I can think of a guy that's like a shot blocker.
The other defensive stat that I saw for him that I think is it's almost mind-boggling how good it is his blocks behind the three-point arc. He has the highest amount of them in the league so far this year. I think he has like 13. And then it's Ben Simmons and Drew Holiday who have 12, right? But they've played more than 1,200 more minutes than he has. So this guy in 900 minutes this season has the highest blocks per 36, and he has the most blocks outside the three-point line. So if you imagine him, and mind you, this is all hypothetical, right? You imagine him in a lineup with KD and Zion, and you have probably the most athletic defensive team, biggest length defensive stopping team in the league. I'm watering at the mouth at the idea of watching the Knicks with all that length. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a piece, especially depending on how the New York Knicks handle the situation in the summer. Are they going to go free agency route, or are they just going to see what they're going to get with their first round pick? It's going to be interesting, but I know that Mitchell Robinson will be a part of that plan for sure. Maybe it might be an enticing piece if you trade him, but I know you wouldn't want to trade him.
I wouldn't want to, but I'm saying if you look at just what he's done, right? And then let's say hypothetically the Knicks wanted to get into the Anthony Davis lottery, sweepstakes, he actually is a pretty great piece in that trade. And then you can keep other people because, hypothetically, if we're getting AD, do we really need Mitchell Robinson, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. So, just the fact that we were able to get him where we did not only shows how well the front office of the Knicks did in the preseason, right? And I'm not totally irrelevant of the Porzingis discussion, but the Knicks really did an excellent job. We ended up with Knox, who's also doing good. He's very inefficient, but he's doing good. And then Alonzo Trier as well. So, Mitchell Robinson to me is by far the most underrated. I did see that he got mentioned in a big ESPN article today, which is nice. He's getting some talk around the league, but he's a guy that I think as time goes on, only going to get talked about more and more.
Yeah, I think so, especially with the raw potential that he has, especially starting out, like I said, in the summer league, very raw, but still, you can see the potential there. So, in a couple of years, let's say, when he's about 25, 26,
yeah,
he'll finally reach that max potential he was going for, and I think that he will be a very integral part in whatever team that he's a part of, whether it's a championship winning team or it's a rebuilding team.
Yeah.
I think that he will definitely be part of that whole situation. But now let's move on to another rookie that I've kind of been down on, and I'm still kind of iffy on him, and I know you're going to probably question that, and that's, of course, Marvin Bagley III. We know that he got drafted by the Sacramento Kings. You know how much I wanted either Luka Doncic or Mo Bamba to go, or even Jaren Jackson to go in this position that he's in right now. But Marvin Bagley, to me, I see where people are coming from. People say that he's going to be a great player. I know he's averaging right now 13 points per game on not that many minutes. I believe he's only been playing he's about 24 minutes. So
which is also similar to Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah,
that's a lot more than
he's gotten a lot more than previous years or previous couple games. But I'm still not sold on him completely. I think that he's going to be a very solid player. Like I said, I think that he is very athletic, and I think that he'll do a lot of things in this league. But I am just more convinced with the other guys that I've talked about before. Even though Mo Bamba's been hurt a little bit this year and hasn't really lived up to what a lot of people said he was going to do, I still think you have to give it time.
Yeah.
Especially with these rookies, you have to give it at least a couple, maybe 2 to 3 years to see where these guys are at the end. But Marvin Bagley, like I said, a lot better than I thought he would be, but still I'm not sold on him completely yet.
I see Marvin Bagley, to me, I was always a little higher on him than you were.
Yeah.
But I think I was not particularly impressed with where he got drafted. I think he got drafted way too soon. I did. But now I think the more and more I watch of him as the season progresses, he's incredibly polished offensively. He can do anything on the court offensively. And defensively, he's actually farther than I thought he was. And he's making a lot more progress. But the thing about him that I watch every night, and maybe this is just a factor of the guys he plays with, De'Aaron Fox is a very catalyst style player.
Yeah, he's improved a lot.
But Marvin Bagley, he always plays with so much energy, right? He's really, really into the games, and when he's in, he is putting every single minute in, and he wants to win it every game he's in, which I think for where he's at is pretty impressive, and he could have taken a complete different tone and attitude into a season with the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, especially because at the beginning he wasn't playing that much. Obviously, guys were playing ahead of him.
And he even got dissed by his own head coach, right? Yeah. Remember Dave Yeager said, we would rather have had Luka Doncic.
Yeah. But at least Marvin Bagley's taking it with positivity in terms of saying, you know what, if he doesn't want me, I'm going to prove to him why they drafted me and why I belong on this team. And I just think the Sacramento Kings, I talked about it we never did a fixer upper for them, but they were kind of my dark horse team in terms of when we talked about Phoenix versus Sacramento,
or just all those teams that are kind of always at the bottom. Yeah, I do remember you were pretty high on Sacramento.
And I think it's just because, like I said, De'Aaron Fox has definitely improved a lot since his I don't know why I said freshman, but his rookie year, his freshman year. But he's definitely improved a lot, and I just think that with him being the catalyst, you also have Bogdan Bogdanovic. Yeah, Buddy Hield, who's playing amazing. I didn't expect Buddy Hield to have this type of year.
He might be in the top 3 or 4 sharpshooters in the entire league.
Yeah, I don't know what. I think he worked with Kobe, I believe, or some along the lines of that. Either way, the Sacramento Kings are going to be an interesting team, and it's going to be a wild ride at the end of the season if they're going to be able to make the playoffs.
Can I just throw out a statement? And I know this has not a lot to do with Marvin Bagley other than the fact that he plays for the team. I would rather see them versus Golden State in the first round than the Lakers.
Oh, really?
I actually think they have a better chance than the Lakers would. Is that weird? Is that crazy?
That's a little crazy.
I just think they play they're much better as a team than the Lakers are. And I think that's what counts in the playoffs. It seems and it does relate to Marvin Bagley. I think they all like each other a lot. Yeah. Which I think as a young team is concerned, and especially as bad as the Kings have been for the last 10 years, it's a great sign for the future of Marvin Bagley. To me. And we'll talk about Ayton here for a second, right? He's honestly starting to make me feel like I would rather have had him than DeAndre Ayton.
The Marvin Bagley?
Marvin Bagley. He just feels so much more suited to what the league is now than Ayton does.
I mean, Ayton's very old school, and the thing that kind of goes against Ayton, I know my friend that I talked to a lot kind of had him as like rookie of the year earlier in the season.
Yeah.
And he played pretty well at the beginning, but towards the end now, it's just the fact that he plays on a very bad Phoenix Suns team. Like Devin Booker is disinterested now, it looks like. I mean, it's just DeAndre Ayton is not. I don't know. There's something about DeAndre Ayton that's really throwing me off on this team.
Yeah, because like his numbers are great. And the thing that worries me the most about Ayton right now is that he's a good stats, bad team player. Yeah. Like that feels like it could be his career. Like a Hassan Whiteside style player where he's always going to put up pretty decent numbers because he is so big, but he's just never going to have a team that's really, really good. And I think the thing that really hurts him too is that between him and Devin Booker, those two guys alone had more pedigree going into the season than anybody on the Kings combined. So to see the Kings be so much better than we expected and the Suns, for me personally, so much worse than I thought they were going to be. Yeah. It's like that hurts him, I think, a lot in this rookie season.
Yeah, I just think that like you said, that really hurts him a lot. The fact that the Phoenix Suns are not living up to the expectations that we thought they were. It also hurts the fact that DeAndre Ayton, who wasn't a bad three-point shooter in college, has only shot in 4 attempts from three-point land this season. Not good especially enough. Because, you know, this modern NBA, you have guys like Jokic, Embiid, shooting these three-pointers. But the fact that DeAndre Ayton is kind of like an old-school center, in my opinion,
it just doesn't work.
It hurts him and it hurts the team. And I just think that if the Phoenix Suns would have drafted Luka Doncic, how different would this team be?
It would be, I mean, to me, even if they had Bagley, I think the team would be significantly different because like we're saying, DeAndre Ayton is that old school style center right now. If you look around the league, just, it's not a thing. Like those guys don't play on good teams.
No.
Like none of the top 8 teams in the league have a traditional center. And even the teams that were good, that had a traditional center that played minutes, don't have that guy anymore. Like think of the Raptors are an example, right? Because Valanciunas is that style big guy. They traded him away because they didn't need him at all. You know?
Yeah, and I mean, like another one that comes to mind for me is like Vucevic for the Orlando Magic. I mean, they're obviously in the hunt for the playoffs,
but they're a bad team.
They're a bad team, but. Like you said, I mean, it's going to be an interesting thing to see how the Phoenix Suns kind of recuperate from this stuff, especially now that it's looking more likely than not that they're going to have a top 3 pick.
Yes.
And who they're going to pick. We talked about that in a different video. If you guys want to check it out, go and check out our video on Ja Morant and his number 2 too high.